Hello, today we're going to be reviewing the Ryobi PCL801B 18 volt hybrid forced air propane heater. As with all open flame items, make sure that you're not doing this within an enclosed space because it will consume the oxygen and you could have issues with asphyxiation. Also, don't put anything in front of it that's flammable. You don't want to put it in front of curtains or bedding or that kind of stuff. And definitely do not point it at the propane tank itself. The propane tank should be off and separated from the unit. Always read the instructions, especially whenever it comes to something like this. Make sure that you read all of those guidelines so that you can be compliant within your region. Here's some of the fine detail about this specific unit. First, it is the coveted hybrid technology. So that means you can either put an 18 volt battery in it, or you can actually use an extension cord and plug this into the wall. So this works in those situations where you have power or you don't have power. You can be completely remote and you can actually run this off of an 18 volt battery. Or you can put this inside your workshop where you have continual power and just plug it into the wall and not consume a battery. The main body of this unit is made out of metal, while the rest of the housing away from the flame has a durable plastic material that it's made out of. This unit has a dual function switch to where you can either operate it at 30,000 or 60,000 BTUs. It has easy startup with an electronic ignition with just a simple push of the button. Ryobi says that this comes with a 15-foot hose for the propane. We measured ours from end to end, and we're actually 15 foot 8 inches from one end to the other end. So if you're not into the Ryobi 18 volt family yet, that's okay because this still plugs into the wall. So you can still use this even if you don't have a battery and charger. So who is this made for? This is made for DIYer, homeowners, and shops as well. If you're already in the 18 volt Ryobi ecosystem, then this just makes sense. It has the hybrid technology, it runs off your standard 18 volt battery, and it pumps out an extraordinary amount of heat. This also works really good for people who have well houses and they need to get some emergency heat in there and make sure that their pipes do not freeze over. As of the time of recording this video, this unit is only sold as a tool only. So if you're not already into the Ryobi 18 volt ecosystem, you can still buy it because it can plug into the wall. However, if you need to use it in a remote location, then you will have to purchase a battery and charger separate from the unit itself. As of the moment, this is going for $149 at your local Home Depot. Your prices may vary in your area. As with most Ryobi tools, this comes with a 3-year manufacturer limited warranty. Off camera, I have already unboxed and assembled the main unit itself. For that, you just have to attach the handle with 4 number 2 Phillips screws. So the combustion chamber has an inner sleeve and an outer sleeve, both of which are metal. Then the main structure is a composite material, and then we have a nice piped metal foot that stops the unit from tipping over. The permanently attached placards gives us safety information and operation information for our unit. I would highly recommend leaving these with the unit and not detaching them. So in case somebody other than you is using it, they can actually read over the information. On the back of the unit, you have the air intake. Make sure you don't cover this and you don't have any cloth that can get into it, because this is where your fresh air is going to come in for the combustion itself. You also have the port for the 18 volt battery, as well as the connection to plug it into the wall. With a 14 millimeter wrench, we are simply going to connect the end of the hose to the input nipple. On the other end of the hose, you're going to have the regulator. This is the part that goes on the propane tank, while this end goes on the unit itself. This is a standard rotation, so we simply take the end and attach it to the unit, get it firm by hand, and then we follow up with our 14 millimeter wrench and snug it down. Do not go excessive with it. Just use a little bit of force. You should not be able to undo it by hand. We're going to connect the other end of our hose to our propane tank. This is a standard propane tank that you can buy at any of the box stores. So on the end of our hose, we're going to have a safety cap. Pull that off. Do not discard it. Keep that, because during the off season, you want to put it back on here. You have an end that needs to be cleaned. You need to make sure that nothing goes down inside here because little creatures love to crawl into it. And you also need to make sure that your rubber O-ring is in good condition. If it's bad, cracked, or has any problems with it, you'll want to replace this before you use it. As always, this is a reverse thread that is inside the propane tank. So whenever you put it on, you don't put it on the standard way. You twist the opposite direction. We don't have to go excessive again with our force because we have our rubber washer that is in there, the O-ring. That's going to get our seal good to where we don't have any leaks. Now we're going to pressurize the system by turning on the propane tank. The gas does not flow until we have started the unit. So you do not have to worry about any issues here. Now, if you're hearing hissing, you need to stop and examine everything and find where your leak is. Because again, nothing should be flowing yet at this point. Now to power the unit, we're either going to plug it into the wall or we're going to grab one of our handy 18-volt batteries and simply put it into the unit. Now to start the unit, we're just going to press the on button and you'll hear the fan kick on. And we push and hold the igniter button. You wait for the light to stop flashing green and it will go solid, and then you can let up on the igniter button. The unit is now in full operation mode. If you want to change the amount of BTUs the unit is putting out, you simply turn the dial to either 1 for 30,000 BTUs, or you turn it to 2 for 60,000 BTUs. The outside of the body gets warm to the touch, but it never gets hot. It is standard for items on the inside to get a very bright orange. As you can see, our igniter arm is very bright orange. Don't worry about that. That is standard with these forced propane heaters. In my testing, I was able to take a standard 2-car garage with 20-foot cathedral ceiling from 52 degrees to 62 degrees in a little under 30 minutes. Obviously, the colder it is, the longer it will take. But the amount of BTUs that this unit puts out for the price and for the ecosystem is amazing. So with the temperature control, with how much BTUs it's putting out, there is some control with it, so you don't have to go exactly 30,000 or 60,000. You can slowly dial it up and increase or decrease the amount of heat that the unit is putting out. To properly shut down the unit, we simply press the off button and allow the unit to sit and cool for at least 5 minutes before we either try to turn it back on or before we start moving the unit. So what happens if we lose power to the unit? For example, if the battery dies, or if we're plugged in and we lose power. The unit simply shuts itself off, the fan stops, and the flow of propane stops to the unit. This is a great safety feature. Ryobi absolutely knocked it out of the park. So for the roughly 15 minutes that we've been using it here for the video, let's see how our battery is doing. This was fully charged beforehand, and we're still showing that we have a full charge on the battery. Obviously, some has been used, but that shows just how efficient this system is with the standard 4 amp hour battery. This isn't even the high output battery. This is the standard 4 amp hour battery. To put the unit up for storage, we simply turn off the propane supply, remove the regulator, put back on our dust cap, and then we simply roll back up our hose. And now we're ready to store the unit until it's needed again. I purchased this unit with my own money. And I'm glad I did, because I was looking for something for this winter that could function off of the hybrid technology. I am into the Ryobi 18-volt ecosystem, and if you are as well, then I really recommend this. Yes, you can get things that put out more BTU, but to already be in the ecosystem and to just need something that can get you heat into a space, you really can't go wrong with getting this unit, especially considering the cost of this compared to other similar units. If there's anything that's on my wall here that you're interested in or would like to know more about, then leave it in the comments below and I will get a video made for that tool. My next video is going to be the Ryobi Airstrike 21-degree framing nailer, as well as the Swift Clean spot cleaner. And we'll see how those work. All of the tools that I have, I actually use on a regular basis. Nothing that I have up here is here to look pretty. And you can see that a lot of my tools are very dirty because of how much I have used them. So my reviews are coming from an actual consumer, I have used these tools standpoint. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Me watch you, thanks. Video next. Nipple.